So I was just thinking about how do you actually find influencers for your brand? It's actually kind of difficult to find. There's two ways I think that you can actually do this. The first way is a very systematic analysis, right? So I would actually get out an Excel spreadsheet, put out the different influencers that possibly are in different genres. So first of all, pick the genre that you're interested in, pick the domain that you're actually interested in, and then from there take a deep dive and actually list out. You can probably use something like ChatGPT, for example, to list out, I don't know, the top 100 influencers in a particular category genre, and then you'll have this kind of nice little list, and you could just check mark box down and find out, based on the criteria that you're looking for, what those people might be interested in and whether they might be helpful for your brand. That's one way, and that's a very sort of systematic way. But I think a better way is to find people, just ask around your office, ask around to people that are around you, ask your kids, go talk to people to see who they're actually paying attention to and talking about. I think that that is the most organic way to actually do this. Now, there is a third way that I think is very important that we forget about, and that is actually creating your own influence brand, whatever that might be and whatever that might look like, and however you might do it. You're probably terrified to do this, right? I guarantee that you're actually terrified to do this. It's kind of scary. Not a lot of people want to talk in the public domain, trust me. It's like a really weird thing. I've been doing this for a long time now. And lots of people find this really weird and unnerving, but the best thing that you can do is just create your own thing. Just go out there and actually start doing it, not worrying about the outside world. You kind of feel when you do this. So the way, if you watch my older videos I've been doing, I put like 3,000, well over 3,000 videos out in various different platforms at this point. And you could see, as I'm going through this, I'm becoming less scared in terms of sharing who I am and what I'm about. And this is something that you actually go through. There's this process, and this is where I want you to think about this. There's this entrepreneurial process that's called effectuation. I really like this. This is Sarasvathy. She came out with this about 10 years ago. It's kind of an active area of entrepreneurship research. And the idea is we have this sort of rational process at the beginning, right? So that was the first process I talked about with entrepreneurship, where you think about the outcomes in mind and then you work from those particular outcomes. But the sort of effectuation story is thinking about how can I be obsessed with something and be sort of curious about something and sort of work with this particular thing and work backwards to find the resources to actually get there. So you might not necessarily find the appropriate influencer for your brand, all that kind of stuff. That's totally fine. But what you might actually find as you're doing this is like, hey, I can actually do this. Or there might be somebody in your institution, your organization that might be willing to do this. And you just work backwards, where you think about what am I about? What am I doing? And just kind of go and do it, right? Like that's the thing. And the sort of state of the art with social medias these days is just being yourself and being kind of upfront with who you are, the sort of shy or goofy self or whatever, right? Like whatever sort of shakes your fancy. So for me, I talk a lot about sort of innovation, business stuff, and that kind of very entrepreneurship kind of stuff. But I talk a lot about being a researcher, an academic, PhD life, those kind of things. And this is my life. And I think if you were to sort of share, and I know that this is difficult for many companies, just share open and honestly what your life was like. All of a sudden, things would be much different in terms of finding this influencer that you might be interested in to work with. So, going forward, what I would think about, hold on, there goes a plane. what I would think about are those three ways. You can use them interchangeably, right? So you can do that systematic analysis and try to find somebody in a very systematic way with the objectives that you're trying to find. But I'm going to tell you, you're probably not going to find somebody that's interesting, right? Like anybody that's talking about a specific brand repeatedly in this sort of, in a very narrow sense, or something that's very narrow, it's really not that interesting, right? Like you kind of get bored of it. So, the other thing is to just ask around. Be like, your kids probably know a lot. Somebody that's 20 years old probably know who all these different folks are, and they're going to rattle off all these different names, and you'd be like, I have no idea who those people are, but those are really useful people for you. Right? And the same goes with, building your thing. It's just do it. Like, don't be scared of it. Yes, people will do really nasty things. They will, just be stupid, right? Like that kind of stuff is more of a problem about them, not a problem about you. And you just kind of be who you are. So, all right. So, about me, I'm a professor of innovation. I teach strategy, innovation, entrepreneurship, those kind of things at a large institution that probably everybody has heard about. And building the reciprocity platform. So if you want to help out with the reciprocity platform, you can check it out. The E is written with a 3. It's all about giving back as much as I possibly can. And if there's the right person, the right organization that wants to sort of partner in different ways, by all means, give me a shout in various different ways. You can find me, right? That's the other thing is, like, be entrepreneurial, right? Like, if somebody doesn't, you can find people, you really can, and be nice, be open, just be a normal human being, however you might sort of do things. And, yeah, just be who you are. I think that is the important thing with finding these sort of influencers to represent who you are about. Often the ones that you might be seeking might be relatively medium smallish, right? Like those are the ones that probably have a pretty focused audience. They're the ones that you can actually reach out to. Like, good luck reaching out to Marshmallow, right? Or somebody along those lines, right? Reach out to somebody that's kind of moderate size, and who knows, maybe something good will happen. If not, then you tried, right? You just keep doing that kind of stuff repeatedly, and encourage you to do that. That's what it means to find somebody that sort of fits within your genre. But then as well, don't be afraid to start your own thing. Like, who cares? What are people gonna say anyways, right? Like, oh, you got a big nose or whatever. Like, people are silly. Anyways, so good luck. Yeah, enjoy the process. It's a journey, trust me. We're doing this so many times now. It is a journey trying to actually be part of the zeitgeist. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Oh, the other thing I wanted to point out, one more thing, is don't expect to get any instant rewards from any of that. You just know it's just for the betterment of goodness, right? Like, it's kind of tricky to create value with this. It's kind of one of those things. It's like a brand that you're creating where you are building sort of mystique, I guess, around something. It's not necessarily about like you're actually going to get instant rewards. Those ones that are very transactional in nature. The things, if you're looking for a car dealership, for example, and is very transactional, who cares, right? Like, look for the ones that you're actually building a relationship with people over the long run. All right, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye. See ya.